Hey YouTube, Louis Pate with Cruisaloo Outdoors. How y'all doing today? Want to give you a little report on my weekend. Went fishing Friday night with a friend of mine over at Dutch Gap on the James River, Chesterfield, Virginia. Didn't really do much except get really cold. I didn't catch anything. That's kind of normal. He caught about a 2-pound channel cat and a little teeny white bass. Saturday, something happened to me that I want you guys to know about. And the reason I'm going to relay this to you is because I see on several different Facebook websites, probably 5 or 6 people in the last week saying they've just got or are ordering their first kayak ever to fish out of. Cool, I'm glad. But Saturday, we went to a place called Grapevine Bridge, which is one of the famous 7 bridges from the Battle of 7 Bridges during the Civil War. Now, I fished that swamp as a kid. I swam in that swamp as a kid. But, you know, swamps change, and this one has. It's very wide there, just north of the bridge. And I will post a still picture that was taken right at the bridge. But you get a couple hundred yards downstream and it narrows out. And it got to about maybe a little chute that was 20 feet wide. And it was kind of shaped like an S. And we caught like probably 20 little teeny crappie, threw them back. I didn't have any bass stuff with me. My buddy did. So he wanted to go throw some spinners. And I'm like, well, you go ahead and fish. And what I'll do is I'll just kind of float behind you. And if you hook into one, I'll film it. You know, so I can put it on here. He said, cool. So he goes on down, and we came up on this little cut. Again, you know, it wasn't that wide. 20 feet, maybe 30 feet. And you could see a little ripple on the water of the current, but it wasn't a rapid by any means, and it really didn't look like it was moving that fast. Now, I've had my boat and current on that river where I fish right here at my house. But the thing that makes that different is the way this little curve was. He stopped just beyond the little tight place and spun his boat to the left and started casting up into another cut that I couldn't see because of the spit of land on my left. So I stopped and I let the current just push me up against the left bank right there because the bank was sort of concave a little bit. You know, he made a few casts and he started moving on. So I took my paddle, my 250 centimeter Ascend paddle, and I put it against the bank, and I went to push the nose of my boat out into that current. Just swing it out enough to get it out past the little toe on the spit of land there so that I could get a couple strokes and just shoot around in that current and go on down. Didn't happen. The thing is a tugboat, and I know that. It's a 2012... I keep saying that. 2017 Ascend 12T. Stable boat, fine on flat water, fine in chop and wind. Doesn't track real good, acts like a sail, but I mean it's fishable. That current is a different thing. Where it came through that S curve, you know, the curve cut around like this, it looked like it was cutting right straight through the middle of it, like you would if you were trying to go fast on a curvy road, which is what water does. Path of least resistance. When you get into it, it was coming dead perpendicular to me from my right. It had me pinned. So I said, no big deal, I'll back up. What I didn't know was, behind me, underwater, was a stump and the tree that had once been attached to that stump. The stump is sticking up, and the tree is about a foot from it, back on about a 45-degree angle, all underwater. 2 foot behind my boat. So I go to back straight up. I hit the tree, and it just pushes the back end of the boat into the bank, which doesn't help me at all because I still can't get the front end out into the current. Okay, so I rode back up as far as I could, and then started hooking the back end of the boat to the right, thinking I'll just swing past that tree. Well, I would do that, and I would hit the stump, and it would drive me right up on that tree. So I called my buddy. You know, he was just 30 yards away. He came back. He wedged his kayak against that tree and stump. And as I'm paddling backwards, he's trying to push the back of my boat with his paddle. And we did that about 5 times before I finally got the keel of my boat, the back of the boat, the keel, into the current with him helping push me. And I was able to dig on it and get out in the current and get out of there. But as I was paddling so hard that I thought there was a chance I was going to break my paddle. It was bowing. Okay? Moral of the story. You're new to kayaking. Though that little piece of rapids, it wasn't rapids, it was just some fast moving water. Did not look bad at all. I've been through much worse lower on the river. I think the deal was the cutout was so deep where the current had come through, there was just a lot of water moving under the boat. I didn't know it. I see, like I said, folks buying their first kayak, especially on a couple of the Ascend Facebook sites. Congratulations. Cool boat. You know, there are better boats out there, but they cost more money. So, you know, when I got my first boat, the first thing I did was went down here to the lake close to the house and got in about chest deep water, found the tipping point, rolled the boat over, learned to get back in the boat. Then I did it flipping the boat completely over. Then learning to flip it back upright, swim back up on the boat. I did not do that when I bought the Ascend. I should have. I got lucky. I got really lucky. I didn't go over. I didn't panic. And my friend was there. Had he not been there, I was far enough away from the bridge and where we put in at that the people that were bank fishing there, I don't know if they could have heard me over the traffic. If I'd have went in that water at 42 degrees, first off, I don't know if I could have ever got out of where it had undercut that bank. You know, I might have got hung up in there on stuff. I don't know. If I had got out and been able to float downriver, you know, there's no clear way back up to that bridge because it's just channels everywhere back up in there. So the reason I'm telling you this is because I want you to think about what I'm saying. And to always, every time your butt hits that seat, have that PFD on. I don't care. They're uncomfortable, they're hot, whatever. Buy a good one. When you get your kayak, you know, don't spend $150 on your new rod and reel. Spend $150 on your PFD. And get a rod and reel later. Wear it all the time. Be cognizant of what your kayak's capabilities are, what it will handle, how it will handle in current, wind, chop. You need to know what your abilities are to make the kayak do what you need it to do. They take a little bit of practice, take a little bit of getting used to. My recommendation would be to do all of those things with the exception of getting in the water with it right now. But as soon as it warms up, that's one thing you need to do. I promise you, when it's warm enough for me to get in the water, I'm going to be wet. And I'm going to flip that big thing over. And I'm going to learn to get back in it. Because that in itself can save your life. Aside from wearing your PFD, of course. And I want you to really think about fishing by yourself when you don't know what you can do with your boat and what you can make your boat do. Because those are things you need to know. You know, old Clint Eastwood said, you know, a man's got to know his limitations. Well, that's true. And, you know, as far as what happened to me, I'm going to quote Bill Dance. Don't do that. Hey, I wasn't trying to. You know. So, anyway. Enough doom and gloom. I got the Wave Runner off the trailer yesterday with some help from some friends. I've got it out here today, putting new bunks on it and going through it, and pretty soon it'll be ready to haul a kayak, but I'm just starting on it. I'm going to build a platform with drawers that I can store my gear and fishing rods and stuff in, and probably an upper platform too, and I'll get into that at a later time when I finalize the design on that. My main thing is, please be safe, have fun, and catch fish. But safety first, guys, because imagine if the deputies had come here and told my wife, hey, we just found your husband in the Chickahominy Swamp. You know. See, it ain't about me. It ain't so much about you. It's about the people that love you and care about you. You owe it to them to do this right. So, like I said, learn your boat, wear your PFD. Be safe, have fun, and catch fish. It's Louis Pate with Cruiser Lou Outdoors. And I will be checking in with you guys again real soon because I've got some other stuff I'm going to post up. So y'all have a good evening. We'll catch you later. Bye-bye.